Tov, everyone. Hello, Frank. How are you?
Baruch Hashem, how are you, Rabbi?
Baruch Hashem. Are you all well?
We all well. Thanks very much. Very
Good,
much.
good. Who else with us? I see Ivan Anthony with us, and I see that Jeffrey trying to connect. We're just going to give another few more minutes for people to join the show. We'll go from there. Okay, we're just going to give another few more minutes. And Bezrat Hashem, then we'll start the show. Just let the people connect. I see Jeffrey battling to connect. Frank, did you have any difficulty with connecting?
Rabbi, I got in straight away. No problem at all.
I see that Jeffrey battling to connect here. Just show me to Jeffrey battling to connect.
I don't know. I had no problem.
Okay, I see that Gabriel also joined the show. Erev Tov, Gabriel. Okay, Gabriel just joined us. Let me just see what's cooking on here. Okay, Jeffrey did manage to connect. Erev Tov, Jeffrey.
Erev Tov, Rav. Oh, good.
Jeffrey, I need you to prepare the Chumash because the Sefer Dvarim. Just go to Sefer Dvarim. Going to be in chapter 30 and chapter 29. That's what we're gonna bring the sources from there.
Yes.
And I need just to be there. And so I tell you what you should actually prepare, so it will be easier for you to be ready.
But are you looking at Nitzavim?
Sefer Parashat Nitzavim. Then we're gonna go to chapter 31.
Yeah.
Parashat Vayelech, and then we're gonna go to chapter 29. We're actually going from
backwards and forwards. Okay.
That's how we actually gonna go today. That we're gonna speak a bit about all different ideas here, and Be'ezrat Hashem will give some ideas. What I'm gonna speak tonight, it's the spiritual work, the significance of Hey Iyar. We spoke about it last year, if you remember, but we're going to bring a few ideas, okay? Be'ezrat Hashem, the significance of the Fit of Iyar. The Fit of Iyar, as you all know, Fit of Iyar is, what is Fit of Iyar? Is the day of independence. Okay? We're going to bring all different idea about the Fit of Iyar, but the spiritual significance of Yom HaAtzmaut. That not many people know about it, Be'ezrat Hashem. That's going to be the subject of the shiur, and we're going to start, Be'ezrat Hashem. I would like to dedicate the shiur in the soul of Esther Kaden Bat Kitzia, Mordechai ben Rahma, Tamar Bat Zeava, Itan ben Keren, Ve'Avishai Na'eh, Malka Regina Bajoya, Yaakov Salomon ben Farha ve'Farha bat Salha. Please God, Nishmatam tiyeh tzvua b'tzura chaim. I also would like to dedicate the shiur in help of Liora bat Miriam, Menashe Naji ben Farha, Rav Moshe ben Bayabatya, Rav Moshe ben Devora, Rav Shlomo Yehuda ben Dalia, Rav Abraham ben Marina, Dvora bat Esther, Sheina Keila bat Hana, Mordechai David ben Leah, Yehuda Hillel ben Shulamit Leah, Chaim Nahum ben Pesach Reza Kohen, Baruch ben Sarah Hiena, Esther Ahuva Kaden bat Tali Esther, Leah bat Rachel, Pesach Yitzhak ben Ela, איילה עדן בת רבקה, נטלי מלכה בת רבקה, יהודה בן אליעזר, מאיר בן יהודה, אריאל בן שילת, אורי בן יעל, חנניה שלום בן אביגדור, ושושנה בת פייגה איתה. Please God, רפואה שלמה to all of them, רפואת הנפש ורפואת הגוף, and all the Jewish people that need רפואה שלמה. So בעזרת השם נעשה ונצליח, והשם עלינו ברחמיו ירוויח. The subject of the shiur, it's the spiritual significance of the fit of Iyar, the day the fit of Iyar. What is the fit of Iyar? So as you all know, in the year Tafshin Het, okay, from the creation, in the year 1948 for the Common Era, it was declared the independence of the state of Israel. So to us, the day of Yom HaAtzmaut, what we call it Atzmaut, it's the day of independence, look to us an ordinary day. But as a matter of fact, the first to speak about it around 450 years ago, even more, 470 years ago, was the Rabbeinu Ari Kadosh, Rabbi Yitzhak Luri Ashkenazi. He born in Jerusalem 490 years ago. And he speak about the spiritual significance of that day. What's so special about it? And he actually bringing it, he was, if I'm not mistaken, he was the first one that actually spoke about it, but he actually wrote on it in Sha'ar HaYehudim, in his book, there's Shmona Sha'arim, there's 8 gates in Sha'ar HaYehudim, and there, Tzaddik Yesod Olam, there he said that the 20 of the Omer, the 20 day from the counting of the Omer, we know that in Hasidut they call it Yesod Shebatiferet. Yesod Shebatiferet, it's bonding in compassion. That's what it's called. And he said there like this: all the idea of the redemption of the Jewish people depends on that day. And actually he bring in Megillat Ruth, he said, Im Igalech Tov, Igalech. That Boaz said to Ruth that when she came to him in the middle of the night, and she asked to Boaz to marry her, Boaz said that he can't marry her because his uncle had the rights to do Yibum. Okay? And he said to Imi Galech Tov. Tov, that was his uncle. That was the brother of Avimelech. And he said there that Imi Galech Tov, what it means Imi Galech Tov? If Tov will do to you Yibum, okay. But if not, I'm going to marry you. I'm going to do Yibum to you. That means that he's going to take her. Why? Because we know that she didn't have kids. And Hazal explained that when a woman married a man and the husband died and they never have kids, the neshama of the husband is actually waiting to come to the world. By that you do Yibum, today we don't do Yibum just for the halacha, we do halitza. What they do Yibum, and the child that came, that's the soul of the father. The pshat of that bar. Okay. Say the Ari Kadosh that the secret of the redemption of the Jewish people, he bring it in the book Tzaddik Yesod Olam. It say what Boaz said to Ruth: Imi Galech Tov, if Tov planning to do Yibum to you, okay. But if not, I will marry you. What does it mean? So Ari Kadosh explained, he said to his student, to the Maharu, Rabbi Chaim Vital, yeah. He said to him that he doesn't have from heaven, they didn't give him a permission to explain, but what he meant there, I'll explain like this. HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to the Jewish people, if you want to be redeemed, I will redeem you. But it all depends on you. You can be redeemed by that you're going to redeem yourself. You're not going to have any choice. But you have to understand, if you're not going to do tshuva, if the Jewish people are not going to do tshuva, and then HaKadosh Baruch Hu have to redeem us. No matter what, we're going to be redeemed. That means it depends on us if we want to be redeemed or not. What does it mean? That means it all depends on a tshuva that we want to do or we don't want to do. I spoke on Thursday nights and on Shabbos at Yeshiva College in Shaul. I mentioned that the Israeli Defense Force gone to Rafah. And there I mentioned that what Chazal tell us, that there is Rafah Nitzotzot. That means there is Rafah Nitzotzot. What it means, Rafah Nitzotzot? 288 spark. What is a spark? Spark is something holy, and it can interpret into many different things, the Mekubalim explain. And if you take the gematria of Rafah, that's the city that Israel now battling or was battling with America to enter or not to enter. They go now to Rafah. Rafah gematria 288. And at the beginning of the creation, 288 holy sparks basically fell down. What it means fell down? They was holy, but they fall in all different of evilness, that the evil control them. And to release them, the job of the Jewish people is to collect all of those holy sparks. And once that we collect them, there will be the redemption. So some of the Rabbonim in Israel say that when they go to Rafah in Gaza, because the name of Gaza is the name of we can't mention it at night, but it's a name of an angel, not a good angel, okay? And we're not mentioning his name even during the day. It's not good to mention his name. But they've been captive there. There's 288 sparks that, please God, they managed to bring them. So that's what I meant in the Shiur and Shabbat and on Thursday night. That means that there is 288 holy sparks that came down from the holiness and brought down to this world. And they actually now in captivity of the evilness, of the evil forces. So our job as Jewish is to release those, to draw those holy sparks, to bring them back. Who have all the sparks? That was Adam HaRishon. When Adam HaRishon sinned in Chet HaEgel, a lot of holy sparks that was in him been spread all over the world. Okay. Sorry,
Adam HaSham, you mentioned Adam HaSham about the Chet HaEgel.
Adam HaRishon, when he sinned, what did I say? Chet HaEgel, from eating from the tree of knowledge. Sorry. From eating from the tree of knowledge. Okay. My mistake. Thank you for correcting me. But that he sinned from eating from the tree of knowledge. And that's when all of those holy spark came down to the world. But mainly 288, there is in that we have to collect. Once that we collect these 288, Be'ezrat Hashem, the Mashiach will come. Okay, so what did we say here? That say the Ari Kadosh, that the special significance of the 5th of Iyar, the 20 days of the Omer, on the 20 days of the Omer, that's bonding and compassion. On that day, the idea of it is the spirituality, to work spiritually on that day. Why? Because all the idea of the redemption of the Jewish people depends on that day. Say Ari Kadosh. The next one that I'm going to bring is Rabbi Hillel Mishokolov. Rabbi Hillel Mishokolov, actually born in Belarus. He born around 267 years ago. He was the student of the Gaon Vilna, the Vilna Gaon. The Vilna Gaon born plus minus. He born around 304 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. Some say in Lita, some say in Vilna. It was not really make a difference. And say Rabbi Hillel Mishokolov. He wrote a book, Kol HaTor. Kol HaTor is a book with 150 chapters. And there he speak all about the Geula, about the redemption of the Jewish people. And in his book, he said that the 5th of Iyar, listen what he said, it's the bonding and compassion, and all the spiritual work of the Jewish people and a Jewish person depends on that day. What does it mean? A person that's going to work spiritually on that day, uplift himself spiritually, all depends on that day. That means that we have to be very careful, say Rabbi Hillel Mishokolov, that on that day we should be very, very careful to work spiritually. That means to be more spiritual. And then he said, in his book, Kol HaTor, in chapter 1, in verse 9, listen what he said. And he bringing a name of his rabbi, the Hagra Kadosh, the Gaon Vilna, the Vilna Gaon. He said like this. He said that the Vilna Gaon told him that if it's possible to bring to Eretz Israel 600 ribo, that means 600,000 male, from the age of 20 to the age of 60 in one time, we can actually subdue the evil inclination. And what's happened in 1948 was just a little bit over 600,000 male over the age of 20 to 60. We'll get to it. We'll go and touch everything Be'ezrat Hashem. There is another book that's called V'nismeha B'Yeshuato that been written by Rabbi Yeshua Bismuth. Rabbi Yeshua Bismuth, he also bringing in the name of the Gaon Vilna, the Vilna Gaon. And he said something very interesting, that the 5th of Iyar, the 20th day of the Omer, that it's today, he said like this, that all the evil forces cannot harm and cannot have control over the Jewish people. That means from sunset today until sunset tomorrow, the evil forces have no control over the Jewish people. As long that they're obviously Shomrei Mitzvot, they keep the Torah. Rabbi Nachman Mibreslev, you all have heard about Rabbi Nachman Mibreslev. Rabbi Nachman Mibreslev, born 252 years ago. He born in Ukraine, in the city of Mezebush. And we know that he have a student, Rabbi Natan. And Rabbi Natan say that on the 4th of Iyar, that they was from the city of Breslev, moving from the city of Breslev to the city of Uman. They was on a journey. He heard that his rabbi, he said that his rabbi told him that the Rabbi Nachman Breslev, he said that the 5th of Iyar, that it's the 20 days of the Omer, that it's bonding and compassion in a mystical term, have a big, great secret on that day, that it's all particularly to the redemption of the Jewish people. That means that the 5th of Iyar, it's one of the day that actually can help us to be redeemed. All the secret around the redemption depends on that day. Say Rabbi Nachman Breslev. So we see from here that it's not so simple that just we can basically take the day as another day of independence. Well, in Eretz Israel, what they do, they actually take that day. Many people waste their time doing a brine, instead of working spiritually on it. Rav Mazuz, I don't know how many of you hear of him. He was here 25 years ago. Yeah, 25, 27 years ago. Rav Meir Mazuz is the head of the yeshiva of Kisei Rachamim in Bnei Brak. He actually born in Bnei Brak in 1945. And he said like this, it was around he's now 79 years ago. Yeah, work it out, 79 years ago. Yeah. He said like this. He said that there is a very verse that very contradictional verse in the book of Daniel. Daniel says something very interesting in his book, in the book of Daniel, and it says like this: אשרי המחכה ויגיע לימים 1335. Praise the man that will reach to the days of 1335. If you want to check that verse, that's in chapter 12, verse 13. There, the prophet Daniel speak about 1335 days. What is he referring to? So, say Rav Mazuz. Rav Mazuz say like this, that actually here there is the secret of the beginning of the independence of Israel. You say, how does it work? You say, not many people understand. Many people got confused with the calculation. And he explained it. We all know that the Second World War ended in 1945. That means the Nazi regime disappeared from the world in 1945. That was in the year Tafshin Hey, when the state of Israel been declared in Tafshin Het. That means 1948 for the Common Era. He said, if you count from Rosh Hashanah of 1945 to the Hay of Iyar in 1948, if you count the days, you'll get 1,335 days.
Ooh.
It says like this, that already Daniel in his book told us when, he hinting to us when gonna be the declaration of the States of Israel. That's from the prophet. But now I'm going to go, with your permission, to find dates that speak about and verses that speak about from our Holy Torah, from the 5 books of Moses, that speak about, number one, the declaration of the State of Israel, the 6-day war, and I'm going to speak about the Holocaust. There's many more, but I think that those 3 will help us just to understand. So there is a book that called Revolution. It's that book in Hebrew, it's called Hidgalut. It's actually a book that's been written by Rav Shmuel Yaniv. Rav Shmuel Yaniv lost his 2 grandsons that been murdered in a village of Hura. You remember? It was 2 kids that been shot there. Okay, that was his grandkids. So Rav Shmuel Yaniv wrote a book about all the clues from the Torah. It's called Idgalut. And he actually bringing, in his book, he bringing, first of all, about the beginning, where the Torah tell us about the independence of the state of Israel. When is it going to happen? So let's make a bit of history. In 1948, from the Common Era, okay, for the Common Era, it's in a Jewish calendar. That means the year from the creation of from the day of the creation. That means 5,708 from the creation. It was 5,700 from the day of the creation. Say, the Mekubalim. 1 second, I'm going to mute everyone. Jeffrey, you're going to unmute yourself just now, shortly, okay? So what's happening? He say, if you take the 5 books of Moses and you work out the verse 5708, 5,708, which verse that's gonna be? He say that if you look, you're gonna find that verse in Sefer Dvarim, Parashat Nitzavim, chapter 30, verse 5. Jeffrey, I'm going to read it in Hebrew, and then I want you to read it in English. You can unmute your microphone. And the verse says like this, verse 5. V'yiviacha Adonai Elohecha el haaretz asher yarshu avotecha v'yirashta v'yitivcha v'yirbecha me'avotecha. Bechavod, Jeffrey. Unmute yourself, Jeffrey. Don't forget to unmute yourself.
Now, right. Hashem, your God, will bring you to the land that your forefathers possessed, and you shall possess it. He will do good to you and make you more numerous than your forefathers.
Okay. HaKadosh Baruch Hu here promising and telling Moshe Rabbeinu to tell the children of Israel that HaKadosh promised, okay, the forefathers that they're going to inherit the land of Eretz Israel, and they're going to multiply, okay, and they're going to take possession of the land of Eretz Israel. The day of independence, the year was 1948.
Yeah.
In verse 5,708, that's equivalent to 1948, 5,708 years from the creation, it's exactly 1948 for the Common Era. Say Rabbi Shmuel Yaniv. Start counting the verses from the beginning of the book of Bereshit, stop at verse 5708, that will tell you about the independence of the state of Israel. In that verse, HaKadosh Baruch Hu already telling us that they're going to bring them to land. Which land? The land of Eretz Israel. Not only that, they're going to have a possession over that land. They're going to inherit the land. Which land? Eretz Israel. They're going to multiply there. How many people was in Eretz Israel in 1948? Very little. Today, we at least 5 times more, if not more, as Jews. That means the Holy Torah already hinting to us when going to be the declaration of the state of Israel, when going to be the independent day of the Jews in the state of Israel. When is it going to be? According to the Common Era, 1948. According to Jewish counting, 5,708 years from the creation. Let's do one more. In 1967, we know in 1967 was the war of the Six-Day War. They call it the Six-Day War, but it wasn't. The war ended up after few hours, when it was a coalition of number of Muslim countries to destroy the Strait of Israel. At the beginning, I mean, the leader was Egypt. That on top of them was Abdul Nasser. He was the president of Egypt, and he declared that he's gonna actually destroy the state of Israel and kill all the Jews. With him joined Hussein, and in Syria was Assad, joined him. What we see Assad today, that his son, and Lebanon. And supporting them, obviously, it was Iraq and Iran. Okay? They all supported them. They have all the support of the Muslim country around. And the Six-Day War, they call it the Six-Day War, but the matter of fact, it's finished after a few hours when the Israeli Air Force strike all the what do you call it? The base, the army base, sorry, the airport base of Egypt, and they continue then to do the in Syria they fought, and the main thing that happened after that we got the part of the western part, the east part of Jerusalem, that we released the Kotel. Okay, now we say that it was in the year 1967. The year 1967 from the Common Era, in a Jewish calendar, it was 5,727 from the creation. If we look at our Holy Torah, which verse is 5,027 from the creation, 5,727 from the creation? Which verse it's going to be? We're going to find it again in the book of Dvarim, in Parashat Vayelech, chapter 31, verse 4. Chapter 31, verse 4. Okay, and there it says something very interesting. Look, ועשה להם אדוני כאשר עשה לסיחון ולעוג, אוקיי? מלכי האמורי ולארצם. בכבוד, ג'פרי.
Hashem will do to them as he did to Sihon and Og, the kings of the Amorite, and their land which he destroyed.
Okay? In 1967, it was coalition of Arab countries that tried to destroy the Strait of Israel. Kadosh Baruch Hu changed everything. And he will do to them what he done. Who's that to them? To the coalition, the Muslim coalition nation that tried to fight against the state of Israel. That's Egypt, Jordan, Lebanon, and Syria. That they was involved with the war. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu will do to them what he done to the two giants, the great giant, the king that protected the Emirate country, and who was Sihon and Og. So the Torah hinting to us that in 1967, we actually gonna occupy and expand our territory much bigger than it was. The same like happened that when the Jewish people gone to the land of Eretz Israel, and on the way they have to fight with Sihon and Og. Say, Arab Shmuel Yaniv, take the word Sihon. How do you write Sihon? Samech Yud Het Vav Nun Sofit. He said, take the letters, change them around. What you gonna get? Hussein. Who was the king of Jordan at that time? Hussein. Because his king now, Abdallah, that's his son. So Hussein and Sihon. We see the join, we see the connection. The Torah already hinting to us in Parashat Vayelech about the 6-day war. Rav Shmuel Yaniv continued, and he said, let me tell you, where is it mentioned in the Torah regarding what's going to happen with the Nazis? We know that the Holocaust happened in the Second World War was in 1940. We know. It was 1940 that's the common era year. In Jewish years, it was 5,700. 5,700 from the beginning of the creation. Say, Rav Shmuel Yaniv, if you take and you start counting 5,700, the verse that's going to be the verse of 5,700 in our Holy Torah, you can find it again in Sefer Dvarim, in Parashat Nitzavim, in chapter 29, verse 26. And there it says something very interesting. It's not so easy, but other side that I'm going to read it and we're going to try to understand. ויחר אף אדוני בארץ ההיא להביא עליה את הקללה הכתובה בספר הזה.
Chapter 29.
Chapter 29, verse 26.
Verse 26, fine, I've got it. Right. So God's anger flared against that land to bring upon it the entire that is written in this book.
It's a bit heavy, but they try to understand. The anger of the Almighty will be in that land. Which one is that land? That land that he's speaking about Germany, the Eastern Europe. That's where it started, and then it's moved on to different countries in Eastern Europe. Okay? And HaKadosh Baruch Hu will bring the curse that's been mentioned in our Holy Torah on that part of Eastern Europe. And we know that the Holocaust happened during that time until it ended up. We say it's already mentioned Where is it mentioned? In verse 5700 in the Torah. That's verse that speak about. So we see from here, Rabotai, that what Shlomo HaMelech said, "En hadash tachat Hashem." There's nothing new under the sun. Everything written in our Torah. But we have to understand that what's happening here, and we have to understand that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, in His Holy Torah, wrote everything to us. HaKadosh Baruch Hu basically write to us exactly what's going to happen. Exactly what's going to happen. And that's what's happened. And Arav Itzhak Zev Levy Soloveitchik, he was, by the way, he born 138 years ago. He born in Belarus, obviously. His father was the famous Arav Chaim Brisk. Rabbi Chaim Brisk, that was his father. And he said something very interesting. And he said like this. He said that the state of Israel, the independent day of Israel that we got in 1948, it was just the smile of HaKadosh Baruch Hu to us. That's all. HaKadosh Baruch Hu just smiled to us in 1948. And that's why we received the state of Israel. So, Rabotai, the fit of Iyar, spiritually, it's a very highly day. It's a very high day that we can achieve spiritually things that we cannot understand. And as I mentioned, that the Rabbi Yeshua Bismuth explained, and he bringing it in the name of the Gaon, that on that day, that means tonight and tomorrow, the evil forces, the evil inclination, that it's the same, have no power, cannot harm us, and cannot control us. So we have to work from tonight until tomorrow after sunset very hard on our spirituality. That change everything. And that's what, if you look in Eretz Israel, what they do, they doing it very cleverly. They call it Yom Shekulo Torah, a day full of Torah. What did they do? All the yeshivot, all the kollelim, many shuls, what they do, they study Torah on that day. Because it's a day of independence, it's obviously a public holiday. All that day they spend sitting in shul and studying Torah. Obviously, there's others that decide to make a bride, to use a barbecue, because it's a very famous thing. They call it Yom HaMangal, the day of the barbecue, okay, the day of the bride. Okay, that's the nickname to the Independent Day. But today, everyone studying on that day, it's a very important day, it's a very holy day, that all the redemption on the Jewish people depends on that day. And not many people know that. Not many people know the spiritual significance of the fit of Iyar. So I decided to speak about it. And now I would like to move on to a different subject that it's still with that, regarding few halachot. There's a lot of confusion, and many people ask me that question all the time. We know that there's a question, should we say Tahanun on that day? Shouldn't we say Tahanun on that day? Should we say Hallel? Shouldn't we say Hallel? There's a lot of question about it. So Rav Goren was the chief rabbinical, he was the chief rabbi for the army, and then he was Harav Harashi Israel. He made with other rabbi that they should say Hallel on Yom HaAtzmaut, and there's a question, should we say Yom HaAtzmaut? So the Rav Yosef Kaineman, Rav Yosef Kaineman was the Rosh Yeshiva of Ponovich, the Ponovich Yeshiva. He born in Lita 138 years ago, plus minus. And he been interviewed, and they asked him, Rabbi, what do you do on the Day of Independence? So Rav Kaineman answered them, I do exactly what David Ben-Gurion do on that day. I do exactly what David Ben-Gurion do on that day. Okay. So they didn't understand, but later on, after a few minutes, they understand the question. What Rabbi Kaineman tried to tell them, David Ben-Gurion was a circular person. Not only that he was a circular, he was anti-religion. And in Yom HaAtzmaut, he definitely didn't daven. Not only in Yom HaAtzmaut, he never davened. So they asked him, did you say Tahanun? So he said, what is David Ben-Gurion do? David Ben-Gurion doesn't say Tahanun. I don't say Tahanun. They said to him, okay, do you say Hallel in Yom HaAtzmaut? He told them exactly what David Ben-Gurion do, and that day I do. David Ben-Gurion doesn't say Hallel. I don't say Hallel. Okay? So that was the answer of Rav Yosef Kaineman. The same question, by the way, before I forget, Rav Kaineman told that on the top of all the Ponovich Yeshiva, they should, on Yom HaAtzmaut, they should raise the flag of Israel, to put the flag on top of Israel, and that's the custom until today they do it. They asked Rav Ovadia Yosef for the Sfaradim. Rav Ovadia Yosef, Zecher Tzadik Vekadosh Libracha, born in Iraq, in Baghdad. He born around 104 years ago. And he been asking, and the answer been brought in Yabia Omer, in his book Yabia Omer, volume, Helek, what do you call it? Helek Vav, that means volume 6, Siman Mem Aleph, that means 41. Okay. They ask him, what about saying Tahanun on Yom HaAtzmaut and saying Hallel? So he answered them like this. He said that first of all, we had to thank Hakadosh Baruch Hu and to praise the Almighty that he get rid of the British Empire from Israel. And then we got the state of Israel. He said that to say Hallel, what is Hallel? He said to them. He said, Hallel, there's no problem to say. Why? Because Hallel is Tehillim. You want to say Tehillim, say Tehillim. All day we say Tehillim. So he said, there's no problem saying Hallel. Where the problem comes is, are you going to say it with the bracha or without the bracha? So Rav Ovadia Yosef paskin definitely not to say with the bracha. You're not allowed to say Hallel with the bracha. It say when it's come to Tahanun, he never used to say Tahanun in his shul, but he said that's going to cause friction in a shul and going to cause problem and mahloket. Do what the majority of the community want to do, just not to cause mahloket. So you learn from here that the Sfaradim have no problem saying Hallel, but they say it without a brocha, okay? Regarding Tahanun, it's according to the custom. Many shuls, Sfaradi shuls, say Tahanun, and many others doesn't say Tahanun. If you ask me, I don't say Tahanun in Yom HaAtzmaut. Personally, I don't say Tahanun in Yom Ha'atzmaut. I do that I daven in Ashkenazi shul. I show respect, but I don't say Tahanun. I don't show them. That I say Tahanun or not. I don't show it. That's number one. Regarding Hallel, there's no problem. You can say Hallel after the davening. You want to praise HaKadosh Baruch Hu, read Tehillim. Okay. I know that there's many other shuls that took on themselves, because later on it's been pasken, that to say brocha on Hallel. So there is some shul that say also Hallel with the brocha. Okay. If they're following that minhag, that's their custom. There's nothing that you can do. So I brought the three opinions, and that's one of the most common questions that usually people ask: to say Hallel with the brocha, to say Tahanun, not to say Tahanun, not to say Hallel with the brocha, without the brocha. Whatever is your custom. So I brought you everything there that you see that there's many shuls that say Tahanun, there's many shuls that doesn't say Tahanun. There's many shul that say Hallel in Yom Ha'atzmaut. There's many shul that doesn't say Hallel. But I think, Rabotai, that we're going to miss the point here. That's not the major thing about Hey B'Iyar. The spiritual significance of that day is studying Torah. Not only that, davening and praising HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And to thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu on that day. Now, we started with the 288 sparks. You remember, those 288 sparks that we spoke, how can we actually collect them? That's a question that's been asked. And I looked at the tshuva. Tshuva is the answer that's been asked by Rav Ben-Tion Muchafi. And Rav Ben-Tion Muchafi, that he's a great Kabbalistic, but he doesn't show it. But we all know that he's Kabbalistic, those that know Rav Ben-Tion. Because his father was a great Kabbalistic. And he explained like this: by that people daven, pray 3 prayers a day, studying Torah, adding up more studying Torah with Havana, that means with understanding, Bekavana, in Havana, they're davening with full focus. So they're focusing on the daven. And studying Torah with depth, not just to read it. Understanding what they're studying. He said that's the only way that we can collect all of those holy sparks that been lost at the beginning of the creation, when Adam HaRishon ate from the tree of knowledge, and the snake got involved with Hava and the chorus that we have. So we learn from here, Rabotai, something very interesting. Number one, to collect 288 sparks that been lost, and that's awards Rafah Nichotot, that they're going to Gaza. The Mekubalim explain that Gaza is the source to all the wickedness that is in the world. Gaza was always a problematic place to the Jewish people. That was Eretz Plishtim, Gaza. The Plishtim always given us headache, and until Mashiach come, it will never stop. And that's why I say at the beginning of the show that I hope that now that they're gone to Gaza, they're going to bring those that in captivity, those that been hijacked, those that been kidnapped, those that been held as hostages underground. Bezrat Hashem, they're going to release them. So those holy souls going to come. But there is also 288 sparks. And we know that Baruch Hashem and the Israeli Defense Force, there's a lot of soldiers, and they're davening on Gaza. They're studying Torah in Gaza. and Baruch Hashem, this Torah there, Be'ezrat Hashem, they managed to collect all of those 288, and then said the Zohar HaKadosh, that's when the Geulah, the redemption, gonna be started, and we're gonna see the Mashiach. That's number one, that we started. But the most important thing, Rabotai, from tonight until tomorrow, sunset, until we see the star, it's the 5th of Iyar, the 20 days of the Omer. And in mystical term, it's called Yesod Shebatiferet, bonding in compassion. It's a very significant day for every Jew, personally, and to the entire Jewish people, spiritually. So if you can take on yourself to say extra Tehillim, to study extra Mishnah, to study extra Halacha. I'm just giving an idea. Why? Because that day spiritually have a lot of significance. And as you hear that the Ariya Kadosh say, the Vilna Gaon, that brought also by Rabbi Nachman Mibreslev, that all of them saying that that day we have a spiritual significance for the redemption of the Jewish people. So Be'ezrat Hashem, that we know about it, now that we know about it, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to give us the strength and the proper understanding what's happening on Hey B'Iyar, and we take it and we study more Torah on that day, and we turn that day Yom Shekulo Torah, a day that's full of Torah. And Be'ezrat Hashem, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will have mercy, compassion on us, and will say enough to all our tzoros and send us Mashiach Tzidkenu speedily in our day, Amen, Ken Yeh Ratzon. If you have question regarding the subject, I know that it was a difficult subject. I tried, what I tried to do, I tried to bring it in a way that it's going to be easy to understand. The beginning up battle to write all of those sources. I found them very difficult for me, but try, if you have question, don't be shy to ask, and I try to answer. Bechavot. Any question? Those of you that want to ask, unmute the microphone. Bechavot.
Hello, it's Anthony.
Erev Tov, Antonio, how are you?
All right, thanks. Now we're celebrating Yom HaAtzmaut tomorrow night and Tuesday this year. So actually a day later, the 6th of Iyar. Why is that?
Sometimes it's work like this, but we have to focus on the 5th of Iyar. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Now I'm just wondering why
because
this
just remember that the Hebrew calendar works from sunset to sunset. Okay, from then. It's not like the going that doing it from midnight to midnight. Okay.
Okay. Okay. But
any other question?
It's actually Yom HaZikaron tonight. That's right.
Tonight is Yom HaZikaron, and tomorrow night is immediately it's Yom HaAtzmaut, the Day of Independence of Israel.
Okay, thanks very much.
Of course, of course. Any other question? Rabotai, those of you that want to ask on a subject, and I hope that I cleared up the Rafa. I hope that I cleared up the date, has everything fitting together. If you have any question, please don't be shy to ask. Bechavot.
Rav, I have a few questions, Rav. Questions, and suddenly just struck me as you're talking, and I'd like to share on that. First of all, Hashem created everything. He created not only the good, but the negative. It's all being created. Right. Now, what happened?
Who was the negative? Sorry, who was the negative? You know, that's the snake, huh?
The snake, the Nachosh. Yes, the Nachosh. Now, you mentioned these 288 sparks came down. They were hijacked by the evilness and came down?
No, they came down. When
On
Adam
their own?
HaRishon sinned, when Adam HaRishon sinned,
Yeah.
those good things fall into the hand of the evil forces. They didn't hijack them. They couldn't hijack them. They fell into the territory. You follow?
Yes.
Let's call it this way. Okay? And our job is now to take them out.
Yeah.
Our job is to take them out from the impurity to the purity, from the evil to the good.
So the evil forces which we've learned from you before were mainly based in the desert, in the wilderness. That was like a concentration.
No,
Isn't
that
this
is
also
capital. No. That is capital. That's his capital. You know, like every country have a capital.
Yes.
That is capital. That is capital.
Yeah.
That's where he had his his palace.
Well, the evil spark, they're not far away from there, are they? Where the sparks have landed up now.
Not far at all.
Yeah.
But you must understand that there's other spark that we lose every day when people doing averot. When a person do averot, so that means that we given energy to the evil forces, because the evil forces doesn't have any strength. Where do they get their strength? When we do averot. That's how they get energy. That's what keep them alive.
Right. Okay.
Nourishes them.
Yeah.
And that's where they get. So it was. I see that you're pushing me. It was two angels that the Torah tells us that came down. Ein Zayin. Aleph Lamed. Okay. And another one, Ein Zayin Egg, that they came down. And they're causing a lot of problems. And then there's another two, that the master and the husband and the wife. But where the army now in the south, that's where is the source of Ein Zayin Aleph Lamed and Ein Zayin Hey. You follow?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So that's why you see that all the time we have chorus with them in that area. From the beginning,
so now
that the people who tell Moshe, that tell the children of Israel that they're not going to pass in the land of Eretz Plishtim. Remember?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then in time of David HaMelech, we have problem with the Plishtim, with Goliath.
Yeah.
All the time.
All that area, yeah.
We never have 1 minute peace with them. That way was, you remember Amalek. Amalek came from there to fight with the Jewish people into the wilderness.
Yeah, all the weak and the poor behind, they attack them. They're vulnerable. This is what happened. This is what's happened now. The vulnerable were attacked.
Absolutely. What's the difference?
Nothing.
Exactly. What did Shlomo HaMelech say in a book? אין חדש תחת השמש.
Yeah. Nothing new under the sun. Rob, there's one just a comment I just to make, if I may. We are in, this is this Yesod B'Tiferet. This is where we are right now.
Yeah, bonding and compassion.
Right now. Perhaps there's nothing stronger in everything to do with the Jewish nation. Nothing stronger. Who do they represent? Yosef and Yaakov. Yaakov was Tiferet, Yosef was Yesod. The two power, the energies of the two of them are here now with us.
What did the angel say to Yaakov Avinu? Bless me. When the angel and Yaakov Avinu fought, the Torah tells us. Said to him, bless me. What did the angel say to him? Lama tishal lishmi.
Why?
Why are you asking for my name? Shut off the dvarim. But he told them there. He told them his name.
Yeah.
Lama tishal lishmi.
Yeah.
You wanna?
Yeah.
You understand how it works? It's not what we thinking. It's more involved.
Of course.
It's we have to understand that what's happening there, that everything that's happening, I was thinking that you're going to ask me a different question. I was thinking that you're going to ask me why that those negative forces have power. Why they've been even created.
Well, that was going to be next.
That was your next question.
That was next.
Okay, so you have to understand that how do we get 288? 288, it's been built from Chesed, that it's 72, and Gvura, that it's strength, 216, together 288.
215. That's 277. 287.
No, 216 plus
72
72. Yeah, and 216.
And 216. Sorry.
Okay.
You said 214. Okay, thank you.
What is it mean? So you get from it, you see that Gvura and Chesed bringing it together. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay. Why did HaKadosh Baruch Hu created evilness, the evil inclination?
Big subject.
It's so I'll answer it now. I'll answer it quick. I'm not going to take too long. I'm going to summarize it very quick. That a man have a freedom of choice that will be, if HaKadosh Baruch Hu will do only good. There's no freedom of choice for us.
Will be angels.
That's it. So when we got the freedom of choice, it's us to fight against the evil inclination. And Hazal tell us, Kadosh Baruch Hu say, Barati Yetzer Hara, I created the evil inclination. Barati lo Torat Zvalim. I created a spice that actually can help you against the evil inclination. What is it? Torah. Torat Zvalim. I created for you the Torah. Torah is like a spice to the evil inclination that's going to melt the evil inclination. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the evil inclination, actually, if you look at it, what is the evil inclination? The evil inclination is, if you look at it in general,
animal energy.
It's just to give us more, freedom of choice to decide to do the good, to decide to do the bad. By that we're doing the good thing, that's how we can move on. You follow?
Yeah. Control the negative.
Yeah, that's exactly it. That's exactly it. To try to overcome the negative, okay? In Kabbalistic term, they call it when a person that we lost when Adam HaRishon lost those sparks, they call it Shbirat Kelim, the broken vessels. You follow?
Yes, the broken vessels, yes.
Yeah, the broken vessels. Shbirat Kelim. Shattered vessel, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Okay? So those, our job is to bring them back. Once that we bring those 288 sparks, then we finish our job.
Right.
You follow what I'm trying to say? I know it's a bit.
Yeah.
I know it's a bit difficult.
Not easy.
But that's basically it. I'm trying to make it as simple that I can understand, because I don't understand what I'm talking about, to explain it to you. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So, for example, Ari Kadosh explained that 208 of those sparks been collected in an exile of Egypt. So left 86. Because we say 288 minus 202 left 86. Do you follow?
Yeah.
So what is the gematria of 86? Elohim. So what's left for us now to collect those? And if you take 288, okay, sparks, what is the long name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu? Shem Av, 72. נכון?
Yes.
72 multiplied by 4.
288.
288, exactly. Understand? So part of the holy name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, from the holy, from the Kedusha, gone and become whole, become unholy. You follow?
Yeah.
It's a bit, it's a bit
not easy.
heavy.
No,
It's a bit confusing concept, but that's what it's have. You follow?
So
that's how those sparks, that holiness from the holy name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu that become unholy.
Yeah. Rabbi, you talked this tonight how you've shown the connection between the days and the verses and the verses and the date of the day, the 5th and so on. There's just another.
Are you talking about what you're talking about, that the verses that we brought from the Torah in Sefer Dvarim?
Yes. Yeah. Very, very critical. Now, there is something perhaps which the nations needed to know, and it's nothing to do with, well, it has a little bit to do with our calendar, but it's also to do with theirs. Something that I should know, because we started in 1948 of the common era when Abraham was born. 1948 was the beginning of our nation, and 1948 in their terms, it's the beginning of our nation again. A rebirth.
I don't know if is Abraham Avinu born in 1948. Let me check it up. I tell you exactly when Abraham Avinu born. Abraham Avinu born. Sorry, I'm just checking on my book.
Please check it.
Let me just check.
I made a mistake. I don't know.
Avraham Avinu. Wait, I'll tell you now. Avraham Avinu born I'm just checking. Avraham Avinu born in the year 1948, exactly. In the 13th of Sivan, exactly. Shakoach, you see?
And what to think? I mean, if they want to look at something, they just to see it was the start of all the nations, and 1948 is our date in their terms.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I'm just looking here, if you don't mind, in my book. 1958. Yeah, because in 1958, Sarai Menu born.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that's yeah.
So it just show you Avraham Avinu, the father of the nation, born.
Nations born in 1948, and we are 1948 in their terms.
And they turn.
In their terms.
But 1948, according to the Jews, from the creation.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
And it tells you clearly. But that's for us to know. They would.
But that was Avraham Avinu. That was Avraham Avinu.
Yeah.
Can you believe it? Let me just look at something else. I want to look at 2024 that we are here. It's very interesting what you told me. I'm just going to look here. 19. Okay, in 2024, listen to that. In the year 2024 from the creation, okay? Avraham Avinu and Sarai Menu. Avraham Avinu was in the age of 75, 76. Sarai Menu in the age of 66, going to the land of Eretz Israel by the command of Kadosh Baruch Hu. And then Pharaoh, because it was a famine in Eretz Israel, you remember?
Yes.
And Avraham Avinu going down to Egypt. What is he looked for food? And he said that Sarai Menu, that his sister.
Yeah.
Pharaoh took who? Sarai Menu. Kadosh Baruch Hu brought a lot of plagues on him. And that was the beginning of the plagues for what? For Egypt. That the 10 plagues that later on, 400 years later, 420 years later, 430 years later, the Egyptian gonna beget those 10 plagues. Maybe in the year 2024 from the creation, Kadosh Baruch Hu will bring 50 times more plagues. The Talmud in Rosh Hashanah 11, folio 1 say, that הקדוש ברוך הוא will make 50 times more miracle, okay, that than he done that in the Exodus of Egypt. So maybe in the year 2024, according to the common era, Kadosh Baruch Hu will do those miracles and we'll see Mashiach.
Amen. Amen.
You follow?
Yeah.
I know that the shiur was a bit heavy, a bit depth, but I tried to explain it. I tried to bring it to the level that I can understand. I'm sure that you all understand it better than me, but I needed to explain it. But it's going to be easy for me to understand. Any other question? Stephen, I see that you unmuted. You want to ask questions. Stephen, bechavod?
No, thank you. No,
Yes. What you wanted to ask?
no, nothing at the moment, Rav. No.
I've seen that you unmuted. That
No,
you wanted to ask.
no, not at the moment. Thank you.
Regarding the subject. Rabotai, I hope that you enjoyed the shiur. I hope that it's given you a different idea what is Yom HaAtzmaut from what is the spiritual significance of Yom HaAtzmaut, what is the significance of the Day of Independence, that many people made it a day of braaiing and enjoying barbecue or whatever you want to call it. But a matter of fact, it's a very spiritual significance to this day. And Be'ezrat Hashem, that we should take that message and develop it more to spirituality, and we can grow up on that day.
Mr.
I hope that you enjoyed that subject. It was, for me, it was very difficult to write those shiur. It's a lot of sources. Be'ezrat Hashem, next week we will continue with the Omer, with everything regarding the Omer that we spoke last Sunday. But it's worked around that now it's the time of the Yom HaAtzmaut, the Day of Independence is ready. I wanted to show the spiritual significance of that day.
We help start the day for us studying. That's the main thing. With Kavanah,
that's the main thing that we have to do. That's the main thing. That's the main thing that we have to daven. Number one, we have to daven with full kavanah. After that we daven with full kavanah. After we daven with full kavanah, we have to do mitzvot. We have to study with full focusing. That's the most important for us. You know, that's avodat Hashem. Our avodat Hashem have to be with full kavanah, with the davening, with the studying. That's how avodat Hashem have to be.
He's got no work.
Avodat Hashem, Rabotai, I hope that you enjoyed the show. I would like to wish all of you, first of all, a beautiful week ahead, a week that's full of prosperity, physically and spirituality, to us and to all Am Yisrael. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Be'ezrat Hashem, will show us miracle and send Mashiach Tzidkenu speedily in our day. Amen. Ken Yeh Ratzon. Rabotai, thank you for joining us, and have a beautiful week ahead. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Good night.